Today we're going to be ditching the stock lower control arms on my Jeep JK and replacing them with Stryker Off Road lower control arms. Now these things are super beef and they look great and they perform. So let's go ahead and take a look at these things up close and then we'll install them, and I'll give you my final review and what I think about them. But just by looking at them, they look pretty good. Been on this channel very long, you know I like to support local people and people that build stuff in the US, and that's what I've tried to do through all the pandemic and all that stuff. And I want to get the products out there, especially Stryker Off Road, because they are built in Tennessee and they do a fine job of doing it, especially if you have a show truck and you want to show it off. These almost look like traction bars. If you have a truck and you want to make it look good, you can get on their website, check out everything they have. They have these for the new Wranglers and the JKs, and honestly, with the lift that I have, you can get away just replacing the lower control arms and it will correct the caster, and they built these for that. So mine did have a little bit of not wanting to center back very good, and it kind of walked a little bit, and these will take care of that, and it will serve as durable and it looks good also. So let's go ahead and slide under the Jeep and install these. I'll show you how easy it really is. I want to do it outside in the driveway to show you that you don't need a garage, fancy lift, and plus you want to do this on the ground anyway. So let's slide under the Jeep and get these on. So here's the tools that you're going to need to install this lower control arm. You're going to need some anti-seize. I always anti-seize everything I do on a Jeep, just because if I have to take it off in the future, it's a lot easier to get off. You need a 13/16 wrench. You need 2 of them. You need a little 5/16 for the grease fittings, a little hammer, and you're going to need a ratchet strap, which you'll see why here in a little bit. Now if we take a look at the stock lower control arm that came off the JK and take a look at the aftermarket Stryker one, as you can see, this has more of a groove, and this was built for my lift, and as you can see, it is the right measurement and length for my lift. That's what I like about that. They build it to your lift. It's not just a guessing game. So yeah, this has a little bit more curvature to it so your tires don't rub if they do rub, and it's a lot thicker, a lot nicer, and also has grease fittings. All right, first thing I want to do is go ahead and put the grease fitting in and go ahead and tighten that up on both sides. Go ahead and tighten this side up tight, and we'll be ready to put it under the Jeep. Use a little penetrating fluid, help loosen it up. You don't want to tighten it up just yet. You want to go ahead and get your front on. So if your lower control arm bolt doesn't line up on the axle side, what I recommend doing is putting a strap on the C. If you have an off-road bumper, hook it there and you tighten it up until the hole is aligned, and then you can put your bolt through. Put the lower control arm on the body side, and I put it on the axle side because I can move it around. Once you get one side on, change the other side and it should go right on because it kind of pushes it forward. Never take both lower control arms off at the same time. Do them one at a time and just work around that and use a ratchet strap to move it that way or this way, whatever way it needs to go. So we got these things on. It makes my Jeep drive great. It's the correction that it needed. So if you have a lifted JK and it wanders a little bit, first off, I'd start with the sway bars, which I'll leave a video up here, how to extend your sway bars for cheap. That'll keep the body from rolling, but it needed the caster corrected. And when, you know, we put these on, it was built for this lift. It corrected the caster. It pushed the axle forward like it needed. Now the steering wheel goes back to center where it needs to be, and it doesn't wander all over the road. You won't find another Jeep in West Virginia, probably with a 50-mile radius of where I live, that have these. And honestly, it's a great conversation starter because you can see them when you walk beside a Jeep and people wonder, you know, where'd you get them from and all that good stuff. So it's already starting to strike up conversations. It feels a lot more solid and it drives amazing. Now the product, durable wise, haven't really got to take them off road yet. I will though here in a couple weeks. I'm sure they'll do amazing. They're way thicker than stock. The bushings are way better than stock, and you're not going to bend them. Just the way they're built, I can tell. You know, I've welded and built a lot of stuff, and you're not going to bend these, and you're not going to snap them. The welds are good. Everything is good. I have one complaint though, and that is where the grease fittings are. I tried to turn the lower control arms upside down and put them on the opposite side so the grease fittings will be sticking up, and I was going to replace them with a L fitting, but it wouldn't work because of how they're designed, so I had to put the grease fittings on the bottom. Most likely I'm going to rip those off, so it would probably be better to plug those off and drill at the top and put the L fittings like I wanted to, which I'll probably do that in the future, or that's a design they can actually put on these lower control arms for the Jeeps, because I do off-road my Jeep. If they're watching this, I would put the grease fittings on the top of the L shape grease fitting, and it should work because I have done it on my Cherokee also. Because the low control arms I got for it had the grease fittings on the bottom, so I went ahead and put them on the top. But other than that, that's my only complaint. I mean, I gave them a 10 out of 10. They start conversations and they look great. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure you give it a thumbs up. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't yet. I'm Cherokee Ronnie. Stay dirty, my friends.